What if I lose all control and take a step out into the unknown? Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I let go? I do really want to know what's going on now. Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show. Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? I need to open my eyes and get a touch of that reality. Don't want another surprise. I'd rather want you to just let me be.
Welcome to the another warm-up show on the beautiful, great evening of the January 10, 2023. This is the co-host, Cole Franchise, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to Toronto, downtown. Fine. Gold, the greatness of prediction in the NHL. He's back, ready to rock and
last
roll.
night.
Mr. ENORTAP, welcome back in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. No, not very good last night, Coach. Not very good. Don't
Sometimes
say
it's
it.
better to know
Don't
said no
say it.
comments. I said your comments. So I will let it go. I will not say anything. I will
Please.
move on to the next thing. 10 game on the program, Mr. Natap. We are right now. 10 game to the program tonight, NHL. 10 days in January. And I would like to be curious to know, where are you right now after 10 days on about your resolution of 2023?
Well, resolution, I think, is always, personal to your own situation. I hate making definitive resolutions. What I like to do is just to try to pick something and then show improvement or growth in it. Now, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because I used to find that when I made resolutions, a lot of times I wouldn't hold on to it, or maybe for a few months or whatever the case might be. But at least if you take something and you say, you know what, today I'm going to try to improve on this. And it could be on anything. It could be what you're eating, what if you're taking courses, what courses you're taking, if it's how you treat people in a certain fashion, that kind of thing. Just try to show improvement every single day. And then by the end of the year, you'll notice that there's some growth involved.
You know, we asked her one question about how was the resolution. It took you about 78 seconds to give us an answer about that one over there. So that great job. Now, is it underrated or overrated, the resolution?
It's mine personally.
Yeah. Or not with yours?
I wouldn't say it's underrated. For me, it's something that I want to try to do to grow. So obviously, I think it's appropriate to me. For somebody else, it might not be appropriate.
Here we go. It was not part of the plan talking about the resolution, but we make very good. I would say to you, Mr. Natap, would you like to know which month we are? How do you find out which month we are in the calendar? What you will do to figure out like which month? Is it January, February, March, April? What you will do?
I look at hockey, right?
You look at hockey.
You know, when
For me, I
the
will
All
tell
Star
you one more
game
thing, Mr.
is.
Natap. You want to know exactly where we are. But you go to the gym, the parking lot is full in January. And then in
Yeah.
February, it starts to be lower in the parking lot. And in
Yes.
March, it's
Yes.
empty. So you know exactly where we
Broken
at on the
promises.
calendar of 2023, Mr. Natap.
I just look outside the window in Toronto. You can tell.
Or you can watching what Danny's doing. If Danny right now is on the shack, well, we are winter. If the shack of Danny is over the water and floating a little bit, now we start to be spring. If Danny is in the Mantera, it's 12 months per year.
What if Danny's in the garage?
But this is honestly the fall because right now is the beginning of the NHL. But we have
You know,
Mr.
we have a
Andre
long, we have a
Drouin
long
in
show
the
to go.
house.
You know that. Oh, welcome, Andre.
Rick Bengal from Halifax.
Hey, Rick, welcome aboard.
Yamo Virtanen, Finland.
How's it going, Yarmo?
Ron with Kings 20. Welcome back from
Hey,
Utah.
Ron. How's it going, buddy?
Luciano Graziano in the house.
Lucky.
Out of the jail, not in the bus, but back in the house. Jose Duarte.
Hello, Jose, the man of the men.
Unibird, we call him the Double J, Mr. Double J.
Double J, how's it going?
If you think about Double J, what can be on your mind right away, Mr. Natap?
I don't know. Are you thinking about predictions or what?
What came on your mind? You said, welcome back, Double J. What do you think?
I don't know.
A wrestler, a WWE Double J coming with the bell around his belly
Double J.
is coming on the. That's why you said the Double J killer
I
is
don't know,
coming.
Double J. I'm out of tune with wrestling nowadays. I used to follow it.
Follow from British Columbia, Mr. Roland. Knock the door.
Welcome, Roland.
Roland is doing very well with us. Brand new. Welcome in the house, brand new. Of course, brand new is a Red Wings, Detroit Red Wings fans, Mr. Natap.
Welcome, Bran.
Here we go. Yamo said exactly called Generate Chocolate is very cheap. Now it's time to buy it. Here we go. That's a great one about that one, of course. William McClary. Welcome back, William.
How's it going, William? Welcome aboard.
From Texas, downtown Houston. Back in the house with the New Jersey Devils. Have a big game against the Carolina Hurricane. It will be interesting what it would be his prediction of this. Mr. Joseph Laham in the house.
Welcome, Joseph.
And then we have everything like this. We have a couple of people. And coach, you can blame Randy Walkman for Edmonton pick last night. No, I'm going to blame Mr. ENORTAP. I selected all my selections are done before Mr. ENORTAP talk, and I talk all everything. And then last night, boom, chance that they are 5-1-0 in the last 6 games. Do you think you should change your pick because he did win very well over there?
I thought you said you weren't going to go there.
I got burned again, but talking about burn.
What did I tell you?
About Taiwan because he's back in the house. Jeffrey Corey and Cheyenne is in the house. Both from Asia. Welcome back, both of you. Thanks
Jeffrey.
to be a part of the show tonight. And from Newfoundland, we open the door. She's back in the house. She's not on the travel right now. And she's on winning. What's going on? Ellen Kiev, welcome back.
Welcome, Ellen. You still got great weather out there?
She should be happy what happened last night, Mr. ENORTAP. The Montreal Canadiens lost by the score 4-0. We're going to talk about this. Mr. ENORTAP, did you have a chance to watching my video yesterday? Well, this morning.
Which
Sorry.
one? You're making so many. It's hard to follow sometimes. Which one?
The
Slavkovsky,
media.
yes.
Let him
Leave him
alone.
alone. Leave him
Sarkozy
alone,
said, let
please.
him alone from Martin St. Louis. Attention, please. This is my video yesterday,
Totally
guys,
agree.
or this morning. I apologize when I say yesterday because honestly, I do this yesterday. I'm tail end, but it's honestly today, this morning. Take your time. Controversy, possible, but I think we should let him alone, let him play hockey, and see,
Yes, yes.
reevaluate him at the end of the year, everything like that. And then I talk about which line are the Montreal. The Montreal Canadiens, which line they are, competitive or development. Why to leave Justin Barron in the stand and let play Chris Whiteman? Why to not let bring Jesse Allen? Why to let play that enough? The dead wood we call about this right now. So this is the video I created
Yeah.
yesterday. And Martin St. Louis red, upset, angry after the game yesterday. We'll talk about this next couple of minutes. So, before we start at the show, Mr. ENORTAP, the first thing we do, we always talking about the what pay attention yesterday, and let me know what happening to you. So let me get that one. What pay you attention?
Well, it was the day of shutouts yesterday, right? We had 3 out of the 4 games ended up in shutouts for goalies, starting in Montreal with Seattle. Not a great game for Montreal, as we saw, especially that first period. I thought the second, third period they were a little bit more competitive, but you can always make the argument that once Seattle had that 3-goal lead, that they kind of let up a little bit as well. So I agree with Martin St. Louis. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing when you have people that are being passengers and they're not contributing. You need to be competitive on a nightly basis. And that's something that's contagious within the team. And if that doesn't happen, then you have to either get rid of those kind of players, they don't belong on the team, or they need to be benched and not play. And let the youth play. That's why leave Slavkovsky alone, bring up Aaron, let them play. We don't win, it's a benefit in some ways. And if they do win, then they're developing. So I think that's the way to go there. The Flyers, holy moly. Thank God just about everybody. I think everybody took Buffalo to win yesterday. Maybe one person. I think
That's because they
Richard
listen to you,
Mullen.
Mr. ENORTAP.
No, they were listening to you on that one.
No, they listen to you. You're the one select. They really pay attention what you said.
Oh
That's
my
the reason
goodness.
why. Not said it's because of you. They really pay attention. So they said, and I thought take Ottawa. I think he's right.
Yeah, sure. Well, it wasn't rocket science. I mean, Buffalo was playing extremely hot over the last 5 or 6 games. I think actually 8 games. The Flyers were on the road. They were coming into Buffalo. They were putting in their rookie goaltender there. That prior to about a week ago, I don't think too many people had heard about him. It defies logic in a way, but in a way when you've played on the road, I don't know if people really have made notice about this. When you have a long road trip, and by long I mean 4 games or more, the first game you come back and play at home, apparently the stats dictate that 63% of the home team loses that first game when they come back home. So I should have paid more attention to that, but I just thought Buffalo, even if they were to fall behind 3-4-0, they have the firepower to to come back, and they did it. Unfortunately, the third game, Nashville, another shutout, 3-0 over Ottawa. Disappointing from Ottawa's perspective. I thought that, especially at home, where they've been playing rather well, that they'd put in a bigger fight. Now we got Saros that is holding that team together in Nashville and willing them to a playoff spot. He's faced now in 2 games over 100 shots, and he's been the team so far. It's just been excellent. And then the game of the night, I can summarize it in just a couple of words here. Edmonton, 0 for 6. 0 for 6 on the power play. and that tells it all. If that team, which is one of the top 3 teams for specialty teams, especially the power play, if you can outscore on the power play at least once or twice, you're going to be in trouble, and they're in trouble right now.
You're absolutely right about that. Andre Carabo knocked the door. Welcome back in the house. And thanks to be with us. Since the beginning of the season, some statement I'm always going to remember or pay more a little bit attention. Maybe they write this many times, but I think Luciano, he always said since the beginning of the season, don't buy on Ottawa. They are not going to be good at the end of the year. So he so far is right. If you think about this, if you remember, if you go back in October, if I said you who's going to be the best team, Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa, what are you going to tell me?
Probably Ottawa.
Right?
Probably.
And not many will say Buffalo. Like barely, maybe. Right? And that's right now the chance because the Buffalo are the best of the 3 teams. The inconsistency Detroit it's not good. They lost the last 3 games. I think for me right now, Buffalo is the best team or the best team to try to make the playoff. I think Buffalo is going to hang there until the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be interesting about that. We have a couple people talk about this. Our friend Kevin DB is in the house. Welcome aboard about this.
Hey, Kevin.
Thank you so much with us. We have DUARTE or you believe an Alberta team will miss the playoff. And so which one?
Oh, what a good question. Right now, they're both in. I think they're both the wild card teams, if I'm not mistaken. And one has played, I think, 41 games, and Edmonton, I think, has played 42 games. Oh, I gotta figure it out. Like, I'm looking at the teams that are on the outside right now, looking in, and Colorado's one of those teams. And I gotta believe that Colorado will definitely find a way to get in there. So that means somebody has to come out. So I would probably say yes to that one of the 2 Alberta teams will be on the outside looking in. And if I had to take a guess, I would say Calgary.
Calgary?
Yeah.
All right.
Unless of course, we see Seattle falling apart at some point. And if Seattle falls off the radar, then that opens the door for both Canadian teams in Alberta.
Which team is going to panic the most, quicker, faster? Which team is going to make the first straight? Edmonton or the Calgary?
Or Calgary?
Yeah.
Boy, I think they're both going to make moves, to be honest with you. I can't. I would go with Edmonton there. I think that they need to address their defensive play. The goaltending is what it is, but that's not the reason that they're losing the games. It's the amount of turnovers that they're committing. It's obviously they, I don't want to put an overemphasis on it, but they definitely do miss Evander Kane on that first line with McDavid because of, the ice that he opens up for them, and he's got a good touch around the net as well. So he contributes to the points that are being produced offensively. So I would say probably Edmonton will definitely do something. I can't see them saying, well, it's okay, we're not going to make the playoffs this year, when you have, I think, 2 years left in Draisaitl's contract, and I think 3 in McDavid. If these guys aren't happy by the end of the second and third year, there's always a chance that they're going to bolt and leave.
Yep, so right. About Edmonton, they still have most of the game against their own Pacific Division to play compared to any other team. So being very interesting. I think Yamo asked a question about what is the Los Angeles record versus Edmonton. They play often again. 2-0 so far since the beginning of the season. Yamo, it's confirmed now. I'm just watching this one there. Mr. Stu Pilazzo!
Hello, Stu.
Hey, coach, I have a question for you. If Florida decide to be seller at the trade deadline and get a first round pick, what the chance to them winning the lottery is that possible? It would be 0% about. I think if I have said it,
No, no. If they got a first draft pick, they can definitely win the lottery. It's a low percentage. I think if they finish at let's say in
no, no,
ninth
no,
or
no, no.
tenth spot,
If Florida decide to sell
yeah,
her the trade deadline, right? So they try to Sam Renard or Sam Bennett, right?
okay, and
They're
they
not
get a
going to
first
get a
round
first
pick,
round pick for the team or not in the playoff. They're going to get a pick like from Toronto and they are out of the playoff. So the chance to get the draft lottery is 0%.
yeah, if they deal with a team that's up at the top, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
It makes sense. So this is a great question
yeah,
about that. But
because they're first. I mean, it's a bit confusing because we're thinking their actual first round pick that they possess is not really theirs; it belongs to Montreal,
yes,
and so
exactly.
that's what confuses the issue a little bit. Yeah,
So what's the chance to winning the percentage? Now, um, if she said they tried to get a first round pick, so the team is getting worse, right? And they
Bennett.
become a sailor. Now the team they maybe go lower and descending, that increasing the chance for the Montreal to win the lottery.
Yes.
Is it makes as if
Yes.
I read if I trade about that one there. Andre said, if Martin St-Louis is always thinking to winning, he should priority development. First, what is young player, and whatever happens, ils ont plutôt que push up for win with line qui sont ready to try to win for Andre statement. Mr. Stu talk about this. Luciano Buffalo will come out and great tonight. They know they are reimbursed last night. That's my only basic to take them. About this tonight. Andre, I believe Martin is doing both winning and development, but he's always changing lane with players and they already turned to the effortless players. Great comment about this. You may be right for Andre about this one there. So we have a 7 minute, Mr. ENORTAP, to talk about fun things. I bring always about everything. First of all, you talk about standing start of the night, Mr. ENORTAP. What about Kevin Fiala? 4 point, Camp 3 point. 3 goaltender shout out yesterday. Zaros, John, and Urson, Philadelphia, the Nashville, and the Seattle Kraken. Congratulations for them. Fiala could be, or I'm going to make a video. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. We have more time to talk tomorrow. The best and the worst transaction signatures during the summer. I did an accumulation of I did some search about this yesterday. So I'm going to bring the Kevin Fiala top 3 of the best transactions during the summer, Mr. ENORTAP. Review Ab Kraken game very quickly, Mr. ENORTAP. Martin St-Louis upset. You talk about the word embarrassment. Talk about the word, again, the passenger. Talk about the word about the no player are involved or engaged during the game. It was the second goal of the game, I believe, at 11 minutes. I think it was 11 minutes. There was the 13-1, the shot against the Montreal Canadiens. And this is what Martin said. We talked about this yesterday. I did on my video. I make a resume of Martin St-Louis in French. Most of the words he used, maybe one. In English, it was one word, embarrassment, there. So that's what happened yesterday between the game. And then Sakoski, I think for me, it was his best game since December 1st. Whatever he did not score, he have a breakaway. You can see the progression of Sakoski last night. Battle for the puck against Tolvanen and the board. Pick up the puck, coming out, get out the zone, transition, pass the puck to Devorak, cross between Anderson and Sakoski. Sakoski become the F3, join the play, pass to Anderson, tip to Sakoski on breakaway, and he almost scored, tried to get a 5-0, and he did not. But you can see him a little bit more engaged yesterday. He did not shot for the last 3 games. Yesterday, he shot 2 times on the net. It was a little bit better for him yesterday. That's what it's about, the foundation, and that's what it's all about. And I explain in my video why you should stay in the NHL compared to play Laval. I will give you an example. If you play Laval, Mr. ENORTAP, right? And it's still an old school in American Quebec. bad hockey players still over there. They have still a lot of players is on the ice. And what happening? If someone hits Sarkozy, Jacka is not there anymore. Pessoa is not there anymore. They don't have any players for step up. It's not Xavier Simoneau who is going to jump in for opponent players. Who is going to defend Sarkozy, Mr. ENORTAP?
No, you're right. Absolutely. And I was saying that at the beginning of the year, like to put him down into the minors at the beginning of the year, it just didn't make sense because he's a number one pick overall. And that's not the reason why he should stay. But the development that's going to happen with the team is always going to exceed what he's excelled in already in the past. Now, he wasn't in Laval last year, obviously, but wherever he's played, he's always come up on top. So he's picked up, unfortunately, he's picked up some bad habits. And I think that's what, like, we get confused sometimes, and I think the media does as well. Like, they attribute development as how many points have you gotten tonight and tomorrow and the day after. And that's not necessarily, like, every player is going to have their own things to have to work on and develop. And if that's skating, then that's what the focus should be. In Slafkovsky's case, it's about, better control of the puck, having both hands on the stick instead of one, making sure his head is always up and not looking down at the puck all the time. And if he can just make those minor improvements, increase his ice time, then that's part of development. And I think we see the fact that, he hasn't scored since, November or whatever, and we go, what a failure. No, that's not the case. That'll come with time. It's the development of his own particular deficiencies that we have to look at closely.
You're absolutely right about this. Everybody said he's still high. Now he playing on the top 9 player team. Now he played with 14 minutes yesterday. It's about the reps. When he have a good game, he give him more time. When he have a less game, he'll put him less a bit. He's still an average over 10 minutes per game. Secondly, I would say to you, when you play an American Hockey League, Mr. ENORTAP, what's the speed of the game? Faster or slower?
It's slower. It's not like the NHL. No,
right?
No.
Then the secondly, where the pass is coming, on the tape or possibly behind? The quality and the talent in American Hockey League is not there. Yeah. And they have a reason why it's not there. Because they are not NHL. They are not the same level. So you have an opportunity to learning faster and better because he's an NHL. Now, if he was the worst player in the team, and the team was not, it was winning. Now you have some red flag. But don't tell me he's worse at that enough. Don't tell me he's worse at Drouin. Don't tell me he's worse at Pessoa. Don't tell me he's worse at Armia. Don't tell me he's worse at Jake Evans. Don't tell me he's worse to Drouin. He's not. He's at the pack of the forward what they play right now. So you have all elements to keep him over there. Reps, repetition. And the only one does it is Martin Saint-Louis. He knows what he takes. And he does exactly a good job about this. You build your foundation, everything like that. If you want to get the best example for Sarkozy, go get Jack Hughes' situation. Jack Hughes, 21 points, 7 goals in the first year, 18 game, 14 game, 11 game, Mr. ENORTAP. Do you know what happened during those games I just mentioned to you?
No.
3 times, 0 goal.
Yeah. Okay.
18 game,
that makes
14
sense.
game, 11 game. 21 point first year, 31 points second year. Now, I'm not saying he's going to become a Jack Hughes. What I said to you, he learned. The Devils said, you know what? We're going to keep you. He never played 1 game with 0 game in American Hockey League. My problem is let him alone. Don't let the media, Maximo, Labrac, Gaston Terrien, all jump yesterday. It's time to send him a Laval and Laval because of what the guy is learning is the foundation. They build a destination. Now, he's on regression. If he does not deserve to be there, there are smart people over there at the Montreal Canadiens. They know what they are doing. They just say, you know what? The benefit for him, it's maybe the best time to go back over there. So for me, that was my media problem. Let him alone. Let him
Yeah.
finishing the year
And
and see what happening.
and the other thing I'm seeing as well, coach, that has me very puzzled is I thought part of their plan, um, the management, was to have a lot of continuity between Laval and Montreal in terms of the system that they play, how they, uh, administer the specialty teams, etc. And I'm seeing a disconnect right now between what Laval is doing, or shall I say, not doing, and then what's happening in Montreal. So a player that comes up or goes down, it's like they have to reorient themselves to a whole different system, and that sometimes that could have a more of a negative effect than a positive effect.
Yeah, absolutely about this. We welcome back Nicholas. Danny T is in the house. Thanks so much to be with us. Then Andre talk about the system. Both teams are not the same. About this, Rick,
Right.
he said he don't
Exactly.
want to talk about this. And then Ellen said, should Marty try Sakoski on the top line? Give me almost space for Kolnick and make opposing team other, but Doc is the second line. Again, just a thought. I would say to yet, no. The reason
yet.
why, because they struggle. Caulfield is key together right now, and to carry on another rookie with not experience and not to be liable like he should be. I think it would be better for him to let him work easy right now with a little bit more experienced players like Anderson, Dvorak, or right now with other different players for the team. And I think that's right. I would prefer not him to put on the first line right now. He's right spot at the right place at that moment, Mr. ENORTAP. About this, we have so many things to talk, Mr. ENORTAP. We talk about 33 minutes, so we have to move on, and we're going to get more about this month. Montreal Canadiens, the biggest challenge for Martin St. Louis is the freedom versus the structure. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, Mr. ENORTAP, about this one. NHL news. I want to talk about this tonight, Mr. ENORTAP. We have no time. Unfortunately, we're going to jumping, honestly, the NHL players. Toronto, DJ Brody is out on ER. Florida, Spencer Knight, ER. And another defenseman fall apart, and St. Louis, Bortuzzo is on ER. That gave them five players were activated yesterday. Buffalo Comrie and the Colorado welcome back at Francouz with the Colorado Avalanche. For the three lineup for tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, who is in the Columbus, welcome back the players Bourgvis, Detroit. Partuzzi is back at Winnipeg. The rookie Enola from Finland is in the lineup. Game decision, the Minnesota Greenway, Zuccarello, and the Fleury is out for personal reason. And then the out of tonight, Kavrikov for Columbus, Jacket, and the Gotario Copisalo. The Dallas Hens is out for the Dallas Star tonight. And then the Detroit Western Soberblom and the American Hockey League, El Canada, Belgian for a couple of weeks. Congratulations, Randy Kings, Debrada Bengal, and Randy Walkman with a 3-1, Mr. ENORTAP. They did it yesterday. Let them and the bus. It's a quick bus tonight, Mr. ENORTAP. We have no time to talk about this. Cold French Canadian media, they are very hard with the app. They have Brett Habs about this. Panthers and down, go Avalanche, go from Steve G is in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. And we'll see what happening. Anthony Richard sent back to Laval. Yep, you're absolutely right about this. I forgot about bring up or Rafael Arma Pinard. I don't know if they will make us anybody call up. I think expect to be money in very soon with the Montreal Canadiens. I will not be surprised. Have you seen a medal yesterday? A play a solo battery. It was insane. I did not see the mascot for them. I see only the mascot. It was a 20-player play for the Montreal the first period. They wasn't under the mascot. That's not sorry. The podcast, Nicolas Lalande, one new subscriber of the Hockey Nation Live Show. Thanks so much to be the new subscriber of the Hockey Nation Live Show. We are really appreciative about this one over there. But Mr. ENORTAP, the time for the gel. And for the gel, we're going to get the name. We have three names, the King, the Danny, and the Chicago County Gel. And then tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, we have one person is going to knock the door. It's going to be Fernando Tavares from the, of course, Portugal. Mr. ENORTAP, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Mr. Fernandez will be there for next 24 hours. Enjoy the ride over there. Enjoy all the food left over. We have a few people was there yesterday, so you'll be back alone. You'll be enjoying your time. Mr. Top 10 game of the program. 25 minutes. That's pretty good overall to talk about those three games. I'll give you about 2.5 minutes.
Oh man, lots of pressure tonight with these 10 games. These when you have these many number of games, it's you have to have a good evening. But anyways, the Blue Jackets, they're in last place in the Metro, as we all know. But they've kind of been encouraged lately. They've had a couple of decent games. They defeated actually on Saturday Carolina 4-3 in a shootout, and then on Sunday, even though they lost the game to Washington, it was by a 1-0 score, so it was a very close game for the most part. Now Tampa, they won the two previous meetings against Columbus back in October by a score of 5-2, and then I think it was in December they won that one as well 4-1. You know, Vasilevsky's the key story here for Tampa. When this guy's at the top of his game, like there's no one like him, and it always maintains that Tampa will be in most of these, if not all of the games, based on his play alone. You know what? Here, you know, in the past 10 games between Columbus and the Lightning have gone 8-2, and they've won the last 5 of those. So I don't think it's much of a prediction here to say that Tampa Bay will win this game. And I'm even going to go for a shutout because Vasilevsky hasn't had a shutout in quite a while. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay by a score of 4-0.
4-0, Mr. Tap. Great selection. I listen to you. You said, how many wins they have?
Last 10 games, they've won 8 of those. And the last 5 consecutive ones.
I go with Tampa Bay, Mr. Tap. 5-1. No shutout for him.
No shutout.
No.
Poor Vasilevsky. Poor last Vasilevsky.
No. We're not going to go that direction yet for that one over there. Let me check here.
Him, right?
Yeah. About this one over there. I lose my graphic over there. Here we go. Back where I'm supposed to be. I'm sorry about that. Game number 2 of the night, Mr. Tap. This is already the game of the night for one of the game for the night. And plus, I'm doing this game live at 7:05.
And Fleury's not playing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Shesterkin is in net for the Rangers. The Rangers, they've suffered, a tough overtime loss in the previous game that they played against New Jersey. They actually blew a 2-goal lead going into the third period. So they're pretty upset about that because I think they felt that they should have won that game. There isn't much to separate between these two teams from a statistical perspective. In fact, the Wild might even hold a slight edge when you start to dig a little bit. Both teams really struggle to score with the puck. As the Rangers, they rank 22nd in expected goals per 60 minutes, while the Wild, they rank 25th. So neither team is doing a good job of that. However, the Wild hold a significant edge on defense. They rank 3rd in expected goals against, whereas New York is 11th in that category. Now, the Rangers, they're 5-1 in their last 6 home games, so that's a check mark for the Rangers. They're 4-1 in the last 5 games against the Central Division team, so that's a check mark for them. The Wild, they've struggled to score against the Blues in the last game, and I think they're going to struggle here as well in this game. The Rangers are giving up only 2.71 goals per game, and that might hurt their chances here. A couple of check marks in the Wild's favor here. They're actually 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in New York. So that's kind of significant to hold on to. And they're 5-0 in their last 5 after scoring 2 goals or less in the previous game. But I still maintain that Shesterkin will be the difference here. I'm going to take the Rangers by a score of 4-3.
Rangers 4-3. All right. We'll go with Rangers 3-2, Mr. Nortap, on this game over there. I listen to
Okay.
you. We should go with the Minnesota, but you said no, Rangers. Okay. He said Rangers. We're going to get there
No,
with the Rangers.
I
I
gave you
respect.
points for both teams. You had to make up your own mind.
And then we have Mr. TH, knock the door. Welcome back, Mr. TH. We have Danny, we said earlier.
Welcome,
Zev
TH.
Lekav is in the house,
Hey,
Mr.
Danny.
Nortap. And the no deal, but we have the real deal. Knock the door, everything. So thanks so much, everybody, to be a part of the show tonight. Very glad to hear from you. Everything it's the time to be a circle with those logo, Mr. Nortap. The Devils versus the Carolina Hurricane. I can't wait to hear your comments about that game.
Man.
That will be my pick after you said your selection.
Yeah, another tough one. The Hurricane have been one of the most dominant teams in the league so far this year, but they've dropped their the last 3 games heading into tonight's match against the Devils. In fact, Carolina ranks first in expected goals for, expected goals scored per 60 minutes, as well as expected goals against per 60 minutes. In other words, what we're saying is that the Hurricane dominate on both ends of the ice. And they've been a nightmare matchup for nearly every opponent that they come up against, or the team comes up against them. But the Devils, when you think about it, they aren't too far off. However, um, they do rank top 5 in all the same categories that I mentioned, and they're showcasing that very well this year. They're an exciting young team. They, I think that they can, if they can improve defensively a little bit more, this team could give teams trouble in the playoffs. The Devils, however, they're 0-4 in their last 4 games after they win, and the Hurricane are 9-2 in their last 11 against an Eastern Conference team. So I'm going to go with an empty net goal here, and Carolina winning this one 4-2.
4-2, Mr. Nortap.
Yeah, they will not allow the streak to continue of losing.
Okay. So
Good.
I will listen to you, Mr. Nortap. I will take Carolina 4-2.
Okay.
Thank you. Great advice. Great advice.
There's the disclaimer, I just present the facts. Everybody makes up their own mind.
We listen to great. Me, I listen to go. Me,
Oh, sure.
I listen to go. I decide I have to go with you. What do you think? This is another game very interesting about this one over there. First, the Buffalo Sabres need to consist to be in front of the Florida Panthers. The Seattle Kraken, if they want to be in the playoff, I think they lead a minimum 1 point. I think they would be really happy for them. Back-to-back game on the road. And Buffalo, they are like a lion tonight. I think they are right now the lion, the King Lion, the movie. I think
They're going to be unleashed.
yeah, I think right
They're going
now
to be
they're going to be
unleashed, I
out.
think.
Saddle Kraken don't leave any meat on the bench because you're going to see a team right now on your bench.
Well, yeah, like the immediate reaction that comes to mind when you see these 2 teams is the word goals, right? They both can score, especially Buffalo, they're number 1 offense in the league, and Seattle that can roll 4 lines, and they're very well balanced, and they're getting production from all 4 lines. Um, you know, both of these teams will be on their second night of a back-to-back. And that's all the more reason if you were considering the over and under here, definitely take the over, because defense will be a lot sloppier because the legs are just a little bit more tired. The Sabres, they've won 8 of their past 10 games. They've scored the most goals per game at home, and are the only team with over 4 goals per game in that scenario. However, they needed to keep the scoring up as they're allowing a little bit too many goals. Like if they can fix that problem, and we talked about it a couple nights ago when we had the panel here in terms of needs for the team, then this could be a very dangerous team down the road. The Kraken, they're 3-8 in their last 11 games played when they have 0 days rest. In other words, on back to back. And the Sabres, they're 4-1 in their last 5 home games. So I think they're going to really be ticked off after the embarrassment last night. And I'm going to go with Buffalo by a score of 5-2.
Buffalo 5-2. One thing you didn't say, Mr. Natap, is you talk about Buffalo, but on the road, it's Seattle Kraken have the most goal. Only team have an average of 4 goals per game on the road, Mr. Natap, and you took 2 again. So, would you like to change your score? Because what I just
No.
said, they scored 4 goals on the road since the beginning of the season. They are the number 1 in NHL. I just
Yeah.
ask you, would you listening me one time or not?
Move on. No.
Buffalo for 3 in overtime is not that.
Okay. Why didn't you give them 4 goals? You're trying to get me to give them 4 goals,
I'm sure
but
you
yet you
always
didn't.
hear said, I never know what he's going to tell me, what he's going to ask me.
No, always. I'm still debating about my resolution.
Uh,
Anyways, so we got Vancouver and the Penguins here. Oh man, I swore I'd never take the Penguins again this year after they really did me in on about 3 or 4 games just recently. But I don't know. How can I not take them tonight? Even though they've struggled a little bit in the past month, especially, I think it's mostly attributed to their defense and the injuries that they have there. They've gone 2-7-2 in their last 11 games. The offense has been there. They haven't lacked for that. But it's the defense that they really have to sharpen up with. Now, I believe it's Martin against the Smith tonight. The last time I checked, which is, I mean, I wish they had their starter in there, but it is what it is. Typically, these kind of struggling teams, they try to grind out an ugly win or two before they can feel like they're back on track. So this might be that type of a game. It's not going to be pretty. Um, it, the home team is 4-1 in the last 5 times that they've met. So advantage Pittsburgh. And the Penguins are 8-1 in their last 9 games against the Western Conference team. So advantage Pittsburgh there. And the Canucks are 1-7 in their last 8 games against the Metro team. So again, advantage Pittsburgh. So for me, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh by a score of 4-2.
uh, all right. I will listen to you, Mr. Natap. I will do Pittsburgh 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah. You said 4-2, right?
Got it. I said yes, 4-2.
Okay. No. I will stay with 4-2, 4-3, Mr. Natap.
4-3. Okay.
Yeah.
And if the Pittsburgh loses again, I will not touch them the rest of the year. I don't care who they play.
I did this with Detroit, Edmonton, Nashville, Minnesota, or Islanders.
Oh my God.
I list my 11 team right now.
Oh well. Okay, so the Jets have taken the league by storm this year. They've come flying out of the gates from the beginning. We talked about the benefits of Bonus being the coach for this team and how it's literally transformed them. Right? It looked like it was a team in disarray at the end of last year, and then all the stuff that happened. Pierre-Luc Dubois saying he wants out, and Scheifele was discontent, and Wheeler got his captaincy stripped from him. Hellebuck did not have a good year last year. So all the chips were against them, but when you put it together, I think that Rick Bowness has really uh, changed this team. It just totally transformed them. So I really like what I see in Winnipeg. Dubois is having, I would say, a career year. Shifley's doing a lot of scoring. Josh Morrissey is in the conversation for the Norris. And right now, Kyle Connor's gotten hot. He's never been lacking for scoring. And even though, he got off to a slow start this year, he's got, I think, 20 goals and 29 assists at this point. And Hellebuyck is probably not only in the conversation for the Vezina, but I would say he's probably the leader in that conversation. The Red Wings, they've been playing below average. I think. I think the expectations for Detroit were a little bit higher coming into the season. Um, Having said that, though, that Steve Yzerman is going to always be looking at ways to improve the team. So expect them to probably do some moves at trade deadline time. Usually, um, to his habits, he doesn't usually do blockbusters or anything like that, but he does very wise, well calculated moves. And there are some areas that he could address that will help this team become just solidify their defense a little bit and maybe a good backup goalie as well. So I don't think this game is I think it's a bit of a mismatch. I know it's in Detroit, and usually I like to take Detroit at home, but I think Winnipeg will dominate this game from the second the puck is dropped to the final buzzer. So I'm taking Winnipeg by a score of 5-2.
5-2, Mr. ENORTAP. Great selection, Mr. ENORTAP. I like what you see. But unfortunately, Uso is going to be great, but not good enough. It's going to be an empty net, Mr. ENORTAP, for the score of 4-2.
Oh,
Yeah. And we
you're
want to
calling it
welcome Mr.
closer.
Denis Rodrigue. Welcome back. And he believe, and I think he's right, that right now the Winnipeg Jets are maybe the best Canadian team this year so far.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think so. The Winnipeg's been fantastic. Next, we have the Islanders and Dallas. I think this is another great game tonight. Ottinger and Sorokin going head to head. It should be one of the stronger slated games for tonight. The Stars, they've been a top team in the NHL, and they really haven't let their foot off the gas at all. Like if you look at their record, you won't see too many prolonged losses there. Like there's no streak of consecutive losses, and really that's the sign of a very good team. They entered this game 6-3-1 in their last 10 games, and they're second in the Western Conference by um, I think it's 2 points with a game in hand. They rank top five in the NHL in both goals scored and allowed per game, specialty teams, face-off percentage, goal differential. It's really amazing how consistent they've become. Because last year they were anything but. You didn't know when they were going to win or when they were going to put a losing streak together. It was really difficult to gauge this team. And this sets up to me. I think this game sets up to be a very tight checking, close game. The Stars are the more reliable play, I believe. They beat the Islanders 5-2 in their only head-to-head match that they had back in November. They've been a very good road team as well. So I don't think that playing in the UBS arena will have a huge impact on how they play. The Islanders, we've seen them slow down a little bit. Like they've lost 3 out of their last 4. Granted that they were all road games for them, but facing a top team at home will be will not be much easier for them. I don't think so. I'm going to go with since Dallas has won 6 of the last 9 games head to head, I'm going to go with Dallas here by a score 3-2. It'll be a low scoring affair.
3-2. I just want to say to you, the tweet I put on the proposal on the chat is not real. I just put my opinion about Patrick Kane and ENORTAP to the Anaheim Ducks, and then they keep 50% of the money of the Kane. Kane sent to New York Rangers and returned to Lafrenière and Sammy Blais, and they got 25%, 50% of the salary cap of the Patrick Kane, and then Lafrenière and Sammy Blais are going to be in Chicago. That's my proposal, Mr. ENORTAP.
Your prediction?
Yep.
Yeah, you almost scared me there. I thought it was breaking news.
4-3, Mr. ENORTAP, for Dallas.
For Dallas, 4-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
Gotcha.
that. I was just start right now to typing here.
Okay, another game of the night, right? Very important for both teams, Calgary and St. Louis. The Flames, they continue their road trip against the Blues tonight. Calgary comes into this with 19 wins on the year so far. They've lost 2 out of their last 3 following that 4-3 overtime against Chicago. Markstrom was not very good in that game that he played. He posted a .727 save percentage after he allowed 3 goals on just 11 shots. And then he was pulled. Vladar came in and didn't fare much better, although he was a little bit stronger than Markstrom. And I really believe that's. I mean, you can make an argument for the fact that there were a lot of changes in Calgary this year, and to a certain degree that does contribute. But I think it's the fact that Markstrom has not been what he was last year, and that's kind of hurt Calgary's chances. The Blues, they return home with 20 wins on their resume following that 3-0 impressive victory over Minnesota. They've been sort of mediocre is the best way I can put it. Now they have a whole bunch of injuries as well. We got Markstrom I think it's Markstrom against Binnington tonight.
Yep.
And it also marks this could turn into a bit of a nasty game because it's the first time that Binnington and Kadri come back head to head after that water bottle throwing incident last year in the playoffs. So we'll see if anything comes of that tonight. But I'm going to go with Calgary just because I think there's more of an urgency to win this game. And I'm going to take an empty net goal, and Calgary wins 4-2.
Calgary win 4-2. Do you know they play back-to-back game?
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Yeah. They play
on
they play Thursday night.
Nights, or
they play Thursday night again at St. Louis.
Oh, okay. So they get a day rest in between them.
Yeah.
So there could be some bad blood brewing.
You're absolutely right about that one.
Oh,
this is a game for the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, this is a game I hope goes to overtime, right? We want both these.
It's a 3-point game. We wish. I don't care who wins, but we need a 3-point tonight.
Yeah. So the Sharks are on. They go on back on the road. This time to Arizona against the Coyotes. San Jose is, one of the worst teams in the entire league with only 12 wins on the year after losing 4 of the last 5, including 2 in a row with that 4-2 most recent 4-2 loss to the Bruins. Reimer was terrible in net for San Jose, .872 save percentage there, 4 goals on 29 shots. That's just not going to get the job done. Offensively this season, San Jose has been very lackluster, averaging just over 3 goals and 30 shots, under 30 shots per game. Arizona, they remain at home with only 13 wins in the year, and they're riding a 5-game losing streak following their 4-1 loss to Pittsburgh here. Usually when you put two bad teams together, you're going to get a high-scoring event or date here. And I think I would take the over. It looks like it's Kakinen against Vejmelka. I think I'm going to... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take anytime Vejmelka plays, he gives them a fighting chance of winning. So I'm going to take Arizona at home, 5-3.
5-3.
Yeah.
All right. I will go with San Jose Sharks, Mr. ENORTAP, 4-3 in overtime. My dream of the game.
Okay. So we finally differ.
Last game, Mr. ENORTAP.
You know, Coach, if at the beginning of the year I had told you, wait till the 10th of January when Florida plays Colorado, you'd be marking it in your calendar saying, I can't wait to watch this game. I don't know if we're going to get that same excitement tonight.
But I would say one thing, Mr. ENORTAP. I never thought I would say tonight to you, this game, both teams have to win. This is the worst thing because they cannot lose.
But it's just amazing where they are in terms of the standings on the outside.
The winner of the Stanley Cup and the winner of the President's Trophy.
President's Choice. Yeah, I was about to say President's Choice. But it's the President's Trophy. But, you know, the Panthers, they continue their 4-game road trip here in Colorado. They're coming off of a tough 5-1 loss at the hands of the Stars. So, you know, they will have no issue finding motivation to try to grind out a win here. The problem is they have another tough team in front of them and just as desperate. Florida, they've been actually pretty bad on the road all season long. So I don't like that about Florida. They lost to Colorado in their previous game in December by a score of 3-2. You know, Rantanen really has. I said this before. He's taken Colorado on his back, especially when McKinnon was out. He's got 26 goals and 22 assists on the season. The Panthers, they're 1-6 in their last 7 games against a Central Division team. The Panthers are 3-9 in their last 12 against the West. The Avalanche are 14-3 in their last 17 games played on 2 days rest, and that works in their favor here. And a more insignificant fact is that the Avalanche are 9-2 in their last 11 Tuesday night games. So I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche to win this game. I think it's Bobrovsky against Georgiev. I'm going to take a score of 4-2.
4-2, Mr. ENORTAP. I gave a little bit more goal. 5-3.
5-3 Colorado.
Yep, everything.
Gotcha.
We want to welcome back William Snyder, Roger Delaney. Welcome back, and Richard Mullen, the star of the last week for the warm-up show, Mr. ENORTAP. But we hit already 7:04. We have to move on very quickly. But what you pay very attention, 30 seconds, Mr. ENORTAP, before we get out.
I think we mentioned them, right? It's the Florida-Colorado game. I would look at Dallas and the Islanders, Calgary, St. Louis, and which one did I miss? Minnesota and the Rangers.
I think you missed 10 games tonight, Mr. ENORTAP.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness instead of you.
Here we go, Mr. ENORTAP. Let's conclude another great show of the warm-up show. Until the next time, be well, be healthy, find a way not only dominate your day, find a way dominate your first half of the year. What?
2023.
He said it again. We're going to be back in the next few minutes for the New York Rangers versus the Minnesota Wild. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. ENORTAP.
Great. Good night, Coach. Good night, Hunt.